Welcome back. In this module, we'll explore proportion. You might be coming from my last video. If not, you may want to take a quick peek at it to get the most out of this one. Now that you're familiar with your shape, let's return to the hourglass concept. You'll remember that balance, not size, is necessary for a flattering outfit. Whether you're a 2 or 22, balance is what creates the most appealing perception. Most of us can visually recognize balance. We can tell if a picture is hanging straight or not. But recognizing balance in the way we dress might take some practice. You'll need to experiment and train your eye. Try not to get frustrated. Just realizing the impact proportion can have is an accomplishment in itself. First, we'll look at some basic tricks for creating flattering shapes. Then we'll tailor it further to your particular shape. You'll see how you can create the shape you want others to see. Despite your shape, you can create an illusion of symmetrical proportion. The key is to control where someone's eye goes when looking at your outfit. It's like shining a spotlight on what you want them to see. Right now, the spotlight is only drawn to the bottom. If you highlight strategically, you can balance the already fuller part of the hourglass that might otherwise draw more attention. With a few tricks, now the spotlight draws attention to the top, which visually balances the already fuller bottom. Let me illustrate what I mean by controlling where the eye goes. The gold buttons on Jennifer's pants draw your attention to that area. What if we rearrange them a bit? Now your eye is drawn to her waist. And if we take them away entirely, your eye is left to drift. It may go to the buttons on her coat, her purse, or her blouse. Reese's dress looks great on her. The bottom arrow details are angled inward, which draws your eye down. But if we remove them entirely, your eye goes up to the details at the top of the dress. Her waist and hips aren't emphasized as much, making them recede, and her shoulders almost look broader. This visual redirection can be accomplished by detracting from your body's widest points using pattern, color, texture, and shape, as well as some other tricks I'll show you. First, pattern. Look at these two dresses. They're exactly the same shift dress on exactly the same model, but in two different patterns. Notice where the placement of the stripes draws your attention on each dress. The all-over stripes on the left draw your eyes evenly over her figure, but the ones on the right make her appear more bottom-heavy because the stripes are only at her widest points. Color, or lack of color, also directs your eye. You can use its placement to attract or detract attention as well. In the first outfit, your eye goes to the colorful pattern top, but in the second, your eye doesn't know where to look. There isn't anything to anchor it. This doesn't mean you can't wear all one color, but you would need to use the shape of the clothing to direct the eye. In this case, the outfit has no shape to do that. In the third picture, your eye goes to the dark-colored pants, but in the fourth, by adding the necklace, you're adding color, shine, and texture, which draws the eye upward, creating balance. Shape is the strongest tool in your arsenal when choosing how to best flatter your figure. Experiment with tucking and untucking your shirt to quickly see how turning the look of cutting your shape in half to instead creating thirds can immediately make your legs look longer and your waist look smaller. As you can see with the first two untucked shirts, too much fabric cuts the body in half and hides the model's shape. But by tucking in the blue shirt, the color ends at the waist, causing the eye to stop at her smallest point. You can certainly wear your shirt untucked, but look for a curved hemline to help carve out a flattering figure like the third figure. That's the same model wearing both the light-colored shirts. You can see a big difference in which flatters her more. Again, size doesn't matter. Proportion is the key. The first step to finding your most flattering fits is to find and highlight your waist. Remember, you're looking to create the illusion of an hourglass, which is most narrow in the middle. This can be achieved no matter what the size or location of your waist. Both shift dresses flatter the model's shapes, but the darker dresses do it best. Not because they are darker colors, but because the added V-neck and directional stitching detail draws our eyes to their waists and enhances the curves of their bodies, making the middle appear narrowest. Bigger is just bigger. Some cuts are meant to look oversized, like this striped jacket or voluminous cardigan sweaters or, big billowy peasant blouses. But that doesn't mean they are flattering on every figure. Rather than hiding perceived figure flaws, they exaggerate and create more width. Notice how the shape of the jackets create different silhouettes. The ones that more closely follow the curves of the body are most flattering on both models. Shapes and lines can define your best assets if you learn where to use them. As you've seen, you can use pattern, color, and shape to create the image you want others to see by showing them where to look. See if you can identify why one dress works better than the other. The black dress is more flattering because the burgundy trapeze-style dress falls away from the body, hiding her waist. How about the jackets? Which is more flattering? Why? The solid yellow jacket, because the trim shape and diagonal pockets of it create flattering curves, while the boxy jacket just hangs shapelessly away from the body. Training your eye to recognize how pattern, color, and shape affect the overall silhouette will lead you to making smarter purchases. This model looks pretty in all three outfits, but the most flattering is easy to see. The first hides her shape, and the matronly style of it drastically ages her. The second is better, but still needs something to anchor the eye, like a belt or sash across the waistline. The third looks beautiful on her. The V-neck and belt flatter her feminine curves by drawing your eye to her waist, and the pattern is modern and youthful. This would still be true no matter what color the dress was. Now you can look at these images and see some of the tricks used to create or emphasize an hourglass shape. On the left, the shape of Jennifer Lopez's full flouncy top creates fullness to balance her wider hip line. In the center, Salma Hayek's hourglass figure is spotlighted by the bright color and pattern at her waist. And on the right, the texture of Jennifer Garner's sparkly skirt balances the focus that might otherwise go to her broad shoulders. Creating balance takes practice. Just recognizing the role proportion plays in dressing is an accomplishment and will become more apparent over time. Before you know it, you'll identify the finer details that can really make a difference. For instance, the dress on the left looks sloppy now, but taking in the side seams and shortening the length, like the dress on the right, would make it very flattering. You might also notice that a more open shoe makes the model's legs look longer. As I said before, whether your hourglass is fuller on top or bottom, or whether it does or doesn't narrow in the middle, there are fashion tricks that stylists use to create a more proportionate and flattering look. We simply fill the empty part of the hourglass by showing the eye where to focus. You've learned some ways that pattern, color, texture, and shape can be manipulated. Now let's fine-tune those strategies to your figure. This video is an excerpt from my masterclass, How to Discover Your Signature Style and Gain the Confidence to Wear It. At this point, I take you through individual videos for each body shape to help you better understand how to work with its proportion and identify key pieces that help you do so. If you're interested in learning more, I'll include the link below. I'd like to share an exercise from it, which involves a trip to your closet to experiment with your proportion. Keep in mind the part of your hourglass you would need to fill to create balance. Use the answer key on the left to remind you. Try tucking in or tying a shirt at your waist versus wearing it untucked. Notice how it visually cuts your body in half when untucked and divides it into thirds when tucked in. Which is more flattering? Then, as you look through your clothes, experiment with the different shapes you own and think about this. Which pieces are the most flattering? Why? Would some minor alterations make something more flattering? What could you use more of, and what might you avoid? Don't get discouraged. Maybe that oversized cardigan can be belted, or you could wear a short jacket or cardigan over a longer top to highlight your waistline. Take time to experiment, but don't throw away anything just yet. The rest of my videos may have you seeing your wardrobe in a different light. If you participated in the Pinterest exercise from my last video, revisit your Pinterest board. Examine the red carpet looks that you collected. Can you identify any tricks used to balance body shape? Consider pattern, color, texture, and shape. As you've seen, size doesn't matter. It's all about balance. Shift your focus away from changing your body and instead toward making your wardrobe work for your best assets. You've learned how pattern, color, texture, and shape can be manipulated to create the image you want others to see. You're training your eye to recognize balance, and you know that bigger is just bigger. Do you like what you're learning? I teach you all of this and so much more in my transformational masterclasses. They're your 3 simple steps to building a beautiful wardrobe that fills you with confidence and makes you shine. You'll find the link below to learn more. And if you'd like to learn the top 3 questions Hollywood stylists ask before we buy anything, you'll want to watch my short video at the link below. Bye for now.